Newly announced video game Scavengers is described by creator of Josh Holmes as a survival shooter co-optation set in the new Ice Age. Players are survivors of the cataclysm, either working together or fighting each other for the resources to escape. It will be the first game from the new studio MidWinter Entertainment, which has set up quietly in 2016 by the developers from 343 Industries, the team responsible for making the most recent Halo games. The studio announced that it is partnering with British cloud simulation company Improbable as it works on the game. Scavengers will run on the Improbable as the spatial OS platform, and Improbable is also providing funding. The partnership came together last year. MidWinter Entertainment needed money to fully establish itself and work on the Scavengers concept, while the Improbable was looking for the inexperienced mid-sized team to invest in. Having already had successful applications of spatial OS on smaller titles like Worlds Adrift, there's been a really nice creative meeting of minds. We've really hit off as a team, says Herman Harula, co-founder and the CEO of the Improbable. I'm personally a big fan of Josh's work, and there's been a lot of creative engagement on the game. As we started talking to Herman and folks at the Improbable and learning more about the spatial OS, it became clear to us that this was a really fantastic solution for the problems that we were facing as the team, says Holmes. We started talking about the game that we were trying to build, and we just started getting really inspired by the conversations that we had a lot about the sorts of possibilities that were out there for the game's experience that at this point just don't exist. It felt like a really natural partnership. Holmes says that the gameplay of Scavengers will be a blend of PvP players vs player and PvE players vs the environment content, similar to that what he introduced to Halo 5 in the form of its Warzone game modes. Using spatial OS capabilities for the complex AI and persistent simulations, Holmes hopes to develop on this previous work and make similar experiences of a far larger scale. The world that player will explore is constantly changing around them, based on the complex interactions between the different factions. Engaging with any of those factions, also with the other players in the world, he says. It really opens up the possibility space for a ton of emergent gameplay that wouldn't otherwise be possible. As well as helping MidWinter release its vision for the Scavengers, Holmes says that the partnership with Improbable could lay the groundwork of the other companies to follow. It's something that can be a benefit to the entire development community, as people who are interested in pursuing these sorts of games, which require a step up in terms of scale and complexity, will have this framework that will allow them as developers to take advantage of all the tools that Spatial OS allows. Narula says that the partnership is somewhat unique. Venture capitalists generally don't see the games industries in the way that, for example, Improbable does, he says. We see the industries as the embryo to something that's going to become incredibly valuable. We're not the business in generally founding things, but we've chosen to take this because we see the interesting gap and we want to fill it. Holmes and Narula have high hopes for the game's community. Holmes is keen to use player feedback to help develop the game, adding features or rebalancing them based on what they discover in-game. Narula is particularly excited by the potential success aspect of the Scavengers. We're moving into an era where these games are not purely about entertainment, he says. Scavengers has the potential to become perhaps a vocation for the players that play in it. And Improbable, that's the type of thing that we see as the future of this industry. Already you see the people making money as the streamers and professional players, but we can see as the economy of the Scavengers content creators and players able to not only make money but really create meaningful value for one another. Well, that was the article I just read out, guys. If you want to read it for yourself or read it for yourself again. The links are going to be down in the description. So yes, this is not mine. I'm going to give all the credit to this article. Now I'm going to give my own opinion and thoughts. By the way, guys, at the very end of the video, I'm going to have this same footage playing in the background. God, please, I need to check if it's available to be re-uploaded, because it might get copyright strikes and stuff. I don't want to risk that. So yeah, there's a reason anyway. Anyway, what I think about it, it looks amazing. I gotta admit it. It's a winter-based game. The pictures on it looks amazing. The concept, obviously, a lot of this can change, and I'm gonna admit it. It reminds me of Destiny. Not by the sound of it, but just the look of it, as you can see. But Destiny had a lot of aliens, so to say, right? This time around, there is monsters, infection things, and that's interesting. And animals, right, that can survive the extremes of the cold, freezing temperatures. And you, for example, need to be scavenging around, finding, looting, and surviving. And that's very interesting. By the name of it, Scavengers. That's the name of this game. Am I looking forward to it? Absolutely. How long will it take? No idea. But you can definitely expect it. Oh god, another 2 to 3 years, I'll say minimum. Because like usually to make a new IP, it can take the developers up to like 5 years. And as they have mentioned, it probably already took them nearly to 2 years, maybe 2 years now. And so yeah, another 2 to 3 years, definitely. Don't expect like a release date from it. But it looks good. It looks good. I am very curious to check this out. Am I expecting it at the E3 2018? I'll be honest, no I don't. But if they do, I think it will be in a similar status as the CD's Project Red, the Cyberpunk 2077. Like for example, we have to wait 4 to 5 years since the very first trailer until we can have any other information, good information regarding the game. And I don't want that to happen, to be honest. So I want them to hold off, have for example 6 months left until the game's release, and then release and start monetizing, advertising, a whole stuff for this game. Well, that'd be, I don't know, it's my line of thinking anyway. Well, are you looking forward to this game? That it's looking very, very promising, obviously. Am I skeptical? Yes, a little bit, yes, because after so many new IPs and experiences that I had, the Division, the Destiny, obviously, perhaps Anthem will be in the same road. Am I looking forward to it? Yes, I'm skeptical, as I mentioned just there. But still, nevertheless, I am very keen and very interested to check out more about this. Unfortunately, we don't have any gameplay footages, just bits of information there and there somewhere about the game. But still, this is looking very promising, I gotta say, especially the 343 Industries, who develops those types of games. Halo, dude, Halo. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe as always. I see you guys later. Have an awesome day. Tell me down in the comments what you think about this game, Scavengers. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Anyway, have a good one. Have a good one, guys.
I think you have to be kind of a special kind of crazy to want to make games.
It's a crazy idea. Like, you have to be a little bit of a madman to do it.
Making games is hard. Like, it's really fucking hard. Yeah, hell yeah, man. What's the point of making games if you're not going to be ambitious?
A lot of the founders at MidWinter have the same feeling. They want to get back to the time where you were, less than, 20 people making a game together. Everyone knows each other. Like, you can make decisions really quickly.
Working in AAA is awesome because you have this massive scale of production. You have this huge team of incredibly talented people, and the things that you can accomplish when you're working at that scale are pretty incredible. But something gets kind of lost in that process.
We want to leverage, I think, a lot of the experience that we've had making big games. Don't get me wrong, this is an independent with a capital I. It's about collaboration, and it's about working with other people in a very human way and jamming out, like making something that we can create as a team and really operate like a family almost.
Scavengers is a survival shooter co-opetition where teams of players compete while engaging in PvE combat. It takes place in a not-so-distant future in a winterized world where a cataclysmic event has led to this sort of new ice age, and then you have this mysterious disease that's been spreading through the world, infecting all life across the planet.
The challenge that we have as an art team is to define that intersection of beauty and dystopia. And we're trying to have a lot of down moments in the game. We're pacing it like a thriller.
We also have AI in an open big world that we have to fight and work together as a team to overcome. So it's a mix between PvP and PvE.
To be able to merge these two types of conflict and have them remain in balance with one another is probably our biggest challenge, but it's also the thing that gets me most stoked about the game. We're trying to present a large, rich, open world environment. This is something that we tried to tackle with Warzone and Halo 5, and that mode was really popular and very successful in terms of what it achieved, but we had a lot of limitations that we had to deal with. And so for us with Scavengers, it's really important that we're leveraging a platform called Spatial OS. And what Spatial does is, rather than having to deal with the limitations of a single server within which you're having to simulate everything that's taking place within a game session, you're actually able to divide up that game world.
So basically you get smarter AI, and you can use the environment as a more dynamic playground.
What Spatial really gives us the opportunity to do is be able to ultimately push a lot more richness into the world than we were ever capable of doing before.
There's the word that we use a lot here, is that we call it togetherness. And I think that is going to permeate through the company and with our titles, where we want to make sure players play together and build relationships in the games.
We believe in the idea that community takes adversity. That's our purpose at MidWinter, is to create that feeling of togetherness and put that into the world, and that's what we're here to do.
Not to get crazy, philosophical, but I think like in an age where digital technology has the ability to sort of pull us all apart and polarize us and segment us, I think games have the ability to bring us together and bind us, and that's really powerful.